jelking.
He's
He
got
could
like
be
bump.
joking, yeah. Have we talked about jelking before?
I don't know.
Every guy just froze up because like, oh god, somebody else knows about joking.
This is
all you fuckers
What?
joking.
This is something that like everyone, every man.
Okay. Ladies, you guys are for a treat. Every guy listening, every guy, this is a whole world you don't know about. Every guy listening
knows about jelking.
Even everyone here,
and they didn't know that any other guy knows about jelking. But every guy knows.
It's an egg I cracked.
Because it's when you Google how to get a bigger dick. It tells you about this technique called jelking.
It's where you take you lotion. Basically, you put a warm cloth over your dick, or take a shower. Then you take your hand like this and squeeze your cock from base to tip over like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And there's usually guys with like big bump guys with huge cocks like, I joke every day. You're like, whoa, dude. And then here's what everyone does it for like. Everyone does it for like 2 days. Like, man, that's too much. I'm just gonna have a small dick and die.
My thing is like, it's the same as jacking off. Really, you're kind of pulling, so I'm just jack off, and my dick will get.
I was joking before I knew what it was.
Specifically
though.
for pleasure.
No, it's
it makes
just to make your dick bigger.
To get your dick bigger.
It's stretching your dick.
Is it scientifically proven?
They say your dick is made of these like this spongy
fibers.
substance.
Like, yeah.
And,
which it is kind of.
Yeah, so like you're kind of breaking up the sponges and like it stretches it and then it fills in like.
It's the same theory as like working out your abs or your biceps,
like
where it builds down, it comes back.
It doesn't work though.
Yeah, you guys had no idea about this.
Can you imagine us like in the shower like we take a little cloth and like roll our pussy lip?
I heard about tighter vagina exercises. Someone told me a
There are.
Yeah, someone told me.
Is that the equivalent? Do you guys like Google how to get tighter vagina?
What did they tell me?
Come on,
all the time, every morning. That's a new routine.
There's muscles or whatever. Like it's different for girls. Obviously, there's no equivalent to jelking, I guess. But when you go pee, you stop midstream and you hold it for a little bit and then you continue peeing, and that's supposed to
tighten it up.
I can just pinch my tits.
That's queefs.
Muscles.
I heard that occasional sex tightens the poops.
I've never heard of this.
I think it's funny because I think women underestimate how insecure guys are. Every guy is super insecure. You can have an age stick and be like, man, at least I want 8.5. It's not fair.
Yeah, well,
isn't that weird?
Well, when we talk about dick size,
go on, insult our small dick, Sabrina.
No,
see if we care.
I lost my train of thought anyway.
Well, when we talk about dick sizes, Zach was always underselling himself because every guy are obviously going to do it at the pubic bone.
I didn't know you put it to the bone. Everyone was like,
of course, guys are going to do that though.
Wait, what?
You push it to the bone.
Guys are going to do whatever makes it seem bigger.
Into the bone.
Yeah,
not to the bone, but you know what I mean. You
inside
no, that's not how you measure dick.
Every guy does that though, because it's obviously going to make it bigger. It's going to make it seem bigger. Of course.
Well, there's liars.
But every guy lies about his dick size. Even if you're close, still in the ballpark. If you're like 6.2, you're going to say 6.5 because it's easier. You round up to every fifth of an inch.
You give out for rounding up numbers, but I don't do it with a wiener.
Look, every guy goes to every half an inch. Nobody. If your dick is 5.1, you're like, yeah, it's like 5.5 pretty much.
So, do you guys still jelk today?
No. Like I said, joking is the thing you do.
Is that phase over?
Joking is the thing every guy does for like 2 days and you're like...
When you're 14, you do it.
Yeah.
And this involves a gel?
No, it's... I don't know why
it's just called gel. Some guy
you literally take lotion and just do this to your dick.
I was doing that when I was a teenager before I looked up what it was. I was already just doing it because I thought it would work.
No, it doesn't.
No.
But then what about the whole, like... Because I guess
there's
like
no
a
cock pills out.
Have you seen dick
would be the
stretchers?
same idea?
What?
Have you seen dick stretchers?
No.
They're these fucking things you tie to your leg or like around your knee, and your dick gets pulled down to it like with an elastic
rubber
band.
I wouldn't do that. Why don't you just tie it to like a door frame and just hang off it for like a few hours?
There's a video of that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Chinese guys like tie weights to their dicks and they're like, oh, like their face is purple and they're sweaty and shit.
There's a video of a guy swinging around in his doorway with his dick. He's having the best time ever.
What? Oh my god!
You guys watch the worst videos.
You don't watch enough videos.
Yeah, you don't watch enough.
I don't want to watch enough.
All you do is
Chinese
steal
guys
coffee.
with
You told us you watched
weird-
kittens get stomped to death, and you won't watch the guy swinging by his dick.
First of all, that was on accident.
You watched
okay?
the whole thing by accident. Bullshit.
It's on fucking MySpace, okay? On the message board.
You watched all of it.
What did you watch?
I don't want to talk about it.
Next came over, she was like, I saw the best video. A kitten getting stomped to death.
I love every second.
And her pussy got wet and dripped on the floor.
I might cry. If somebody showed me a video of a baby duck or something dying, I might cry.
I've seen some awful shit on accident. Like I don't seek out these videos.
Sabrina, what's the worst video you've ever seen online that you actually like saw? That you
Probably something one of you guys sent to me.
You already like somewhere like a picture too. Where you're just like, holy shit.
ISIS videos.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know.
Did Chris send you a beheading video?
I did not send beheading
No,
videos.
but you guys sent me some pretty weird shit.
You're a little shit
every
stir.
time I
You never
get a
sent you
link.
like bad stuff though, like
No,
people getting
it's never
killed.
like
I've never sent
horrifying.
anyone that kind of shit.
I showed Shadman the fucking Bjorkstock guy last night killing himself, and Shadman was getting a kick out of it.
Because
I've never seen that one.
He put on this big fat gamer guy who does.
Oh my god! When Corey was laughing at that, I was crying laughing at Corey laughing.
They basically the context is Shadman and Corey were putting this. They showed me this video of this big obese guy like, ooh, I hate the fucking GameCube.
Yeah, he's like, there's the Nintendo shit cube.
And he has like a cane or like a broomstick or something.
There's a sound he makes in the intro where it goes, oh. How does he do that? Sounds like the fucking joke stock when he kills himself for Ricardo Lopez. And I showed the Shad and he got a kick out of it.
And Corey was like laughing so fucking hard at that fact.
That's why though. It's because it was a huge computer with massive speakers like boom, boom.
Oh yeah, we were in the Newgrounds offices and the Pico Day setup was already there, so there was like a huge projector with like massive speakers all around. Corey blasted it and there's this big fat guy going, oh, Nintendo shit cube.
What else did you play now?
Yeah, I gave her.
So Corey's been staying at Stampers over the past weekend because of Pico Day.
Yeah.
In the mornings, I've been hanging out with him and Shad playing Mario Party 3D World.
Oh, I missed
Corey
those days.
is so intense when he plays
Dude.
it. He was stuck on a level, and he was red-faced screaming. And of course, he was quoting like all these game reviewers. Yeah. And Shad's making all like trivial questions.
Oh, Shad's fanning the flames the whole time. Corey, calm down. It's only a video game.
Oh, Shad loves to do that.
You know, it was funny. Like he was playing. I woke up to him screaming one day. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I walked out. I was like, "Corey's dad must have died or something." And I walked downstairs and he was playing Sonic Adventure 2. That's like the funniest thing. That's Corey. That story.
He used to keep Chris up at night because he'd be screaming at Team Fortress 2.
Oh my god.
Well, the funniest thing Corey ever did was he let a piece of fruit rot in his room.
Yeah.
And fucking.
Oh god.
And then it gave birth to all these maggots, right? No, this is the best story ever. So Corey let this piece of fruit rot in his bedroom.
Back at the old house.
And then these maggots crawled out, like fucking millions, right?
They were all over the
millions.
ceiling.
Were there a bunch of flies
They all
around
poke
the
evolved
house?
into moths, little tiny moths.
Oh no.
And then every day, I heard Corey slapping the wall going, oh, I'm sick of this. It's like, Corey, remove the fucking rotten fruit, you idiot.
Yeah, you can still keep the fruit in there.
The whole house was covered in maggots and moths.
There was one point where I walked into his room and there was a blue bottle. I was like, Corey, this bottle been like 4 months. He's like, oh yeah. I looked inside and there was like 4 inches of dead flies. There was a fly holocaust.
Shit.
And I was like, Corey, he started laughing. He just looked at me.
But every night he was slapping my wall to kill flies on the wall. I was like, Corey!
Also, Corey's bedroom had like glass shards to the ceiling because it was an art house, and they used to like sporadically just fall onto the ground, like almost impaling me. Be like, oh, you'd be like, what?
That is fucking frightening.
Just like, oh, like right beside him.
Didn't that like jolt you out of a sleep at some point where you were just like,
and I woke up
Chris
sad.
ran away and I was like, whoa! I was like, what the fuck? I was like still like dreaming, so I was like, what? Because Chris was standing over me. He didn't turn my light on. It was like a shadow of Chris going, oh no! I was trying to process what the fuck was happening.
I thought someone was breaking in. I was like, Zach, did someone break in? And he was like, what?
For me, it's not when I'm waking up. It's when I'm going to sleep. And
Yeah,
you're kind of drifting off, and it's really dark.
Yeah,
and then
too.
you start seeing like almost like shapes or whatever.
I'm the same
Oh,
way.
I get that.
I hate when you're about to fall asleep and you get
sit
that
back
jolt.
up. Like,
And you're just like...
Do you ever dream of does that ever coincide with like something you're thinking of? So it's like you fall down a stair, or like a door hits your face or something.
Yeah.
And you wake up.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I had one that scared the living shit out of me. It was like one of those like outer body experience. Like it's like sleep paralysis. And I was like outside my body, and I went outside my bedroom, and I was like, I can like experiment. And I checked my bookshelf, and I was like, I can see what order these books are in. So when I wake up, see if it was real or not. And it was in that order. I was like, ah! When I woke up, then I was like, I must have been like sleepwalking or some shit. I don't know.
Have you ever fallen out of the bed while you're sleeping? Like you just fucking turn
Yeah,
over.
I'm worried about it.
I'm such a klutz. I'm like the worst.
When I was in Spain, I did that. I smashed my head off the floor. It was
I'm always really paranoid when I'm
That
on a,
explains a lot.
I'm always really paranoid when I'm on a bunk bed that I'm gonna fall off the top bunk. I'm always super paranoid.
Yeah, but then when I'm on the bottom bunk, I always think the guy's gonna collapse and crush me to death.
Do you remember when we lived at the old house? I had that bunk bed that was too close to the ceiling.
That Chris was the idiot, bought a bunk bed without measuring it.
Yeah.
The fucking top bunk was literally, you had to crawl.
You have to like
remember
squeeze
that.
into it.
So I woke up to
Yeah.
take a piss, and I was like, bam! It's
Yeah.
Oh god!
I was about to say that. One time I woke up from a nightmare up there, smashed my head off the roof.
That's good thing to wake up to. You're like having scared you, you smash your face immediately.
You could like stand underneath that bed, like
Yeah, but the top bunk was like you felt like you were in a coffin or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awful.
Yeah,
Especially
it
if you're
was
so
That bed was
funny.
the best for recording only plays though. We used to just like there was like a mattress and we used to like lie in there with a mic dangling from it.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was real fun.
It was a good little thing, yeah.
It was a good little setup. Yeah, I miss that house, like especially living with Shad and Corey. Like just like Shad would just walk in like every now and then, just be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we'd be like, and then just have like a long conversation.
You know, it's weird. A lot of people would give him credit for it, but he's a great guy to have conversations
Yeah,
with.
he's just
You'll see some of that when we use on the
He's a
podcast.
great guy in general.
He's a good conversationalist.
You can talk to him. I mean,
Every night at Stampers, we always end up in the kitchen, and Shad always
Yeah.
joins us.
Oh,
we
he does
talk
that- he
for
still
like
does that?
hours. We have
We-
great
He does those kitchen
conversations.
talks that they were like iconic. Like I'd wake up at like 3 in the morning for water, and Shad would be in the kitchen, and then like I'd go back to bed at like 7 in the morning after just talking for like 5
Yeah,
hours.
you just look at the clock and
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he's always down there making his tea or whatever.
You always
Yeah.
talking
Kitchen
about
corner
something.
with
It's weird. It
Shad.
could be fucking. It could be the other gamer one night. It could be fucking like time travel the next night. It's what's always fun about it.
He has such interesting perspectives on things.
Yeah.
Like he's not like a normal like.
He's not normal.
You know, of course.
He has-
the best way.
The
he
best
has-
way
he
to
has-
describe him is Shad is against nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
He's
like Shad would thrive in a like post-apocalyptic setting.
Pokeball.
It always reminds me of
Pokeball
the-
setting in a Pokeball.
It always reminds me of the uncle that fucks with you.
Oh yeah, he's like, how you doing, eh?
Except your uncle wouldn't put actual knives to your throat when you walk up the stairs like Shad would. But yeah,
You probably had it coming, Niall.
Yeah.
he did it to you, and you started crying. Remember?
Oh yeah, I
Like,
screamed.
wet your pants.
I don't want to die. That's what you said. Just piss off your legs.
That was blood because you cut my dick off by accident.
Gross.
So, Nikki, is this your first time in Philadelphia?
Yes, it is.
And what do you think? What's the difference? What's
A lot of black guys jaywalking, let me tell you
Does that make you horny?
I saw a video of a guy in Seattle, a black guy, jaywalking and got shot by police.
Was
Good.
that? Are you sure that's
I
Seattle?
swear to God that was Seattle. I swear to
Seattle.
God I remember that was Seattle.
You're from Seattle. Talk about that.
Jaywalkers are
Seattle
fucking
sucks.
scum.
It's beautiful, but I hate the people there.
The
Very
hipsters.
pretentious. So many business.
Is it like
people.
art school just in like a state?
Isn't it California kind of blood up a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like the further
But
up you go,
there's
like
a lot-
Portland, then Seattle, it's like more hipstery.
Seattle has Amazon, Microsoft, it's got Adobe, it's got Google, it's got all these businesses that keep inviting people to move in from like India.
Silicon Valley, those little skinny guys with mustaches and
No,
glasses.
like they're flying in people from like India and everything. So there's a lot of Indian people there.
Gross.
There's a lot
I heard
of different
Seattle's kind of
ethnics.
the new like growing area, the new booming area. That's the new kind of place to go.
It is. I mean,
I always
we
wanted to
got
go there.
weed legal. We got
You do.
We got
Oh, yeah.
coffee. It's still very pretentious.
Talk about the weed being legal.
Seattle's a bunch of people that are hard to talk to. There's a thing called Seattle Freeze, where like people just they aren't friendly. They won't make eye contact. It's hard to have a conversation.
I think I
when
know
you're
why that
standing
is,
in
because they're
line.
all kind of thinking, like, if they're that kind of person that you're talking about, they're all, like, thinking about themselves all the time, so, like, yeah, they try to bring the conversation.
You're just concentrating on what you're doing. You're
I'm-
kind of worried about, like, if people are looking at you or not, and you're just like...
That just sounds like you're very socially awkward.
A lot of people are in Seattle.
Oh, really?
I feel very out of place. Like, here, I feel like I'm at
You're at home.
I'm at home.
There
Like
you go.
I can talk to people on the street. I go out with Mick to like a grocery store and he's
Everyone
having a
here is
regular
super friendly.
conversation.
That's the good thing.
Yeah, like, I lived in New Jersey as well, and compared to there, like, the Philly's just, like, where it's at.
I always
I find
when you
that
lived in
too.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
I don't want to hate on Seattle so much because it is like a booming place. Like I've met a lot of good people there and everything, and it's beautiful in the summer and spring with the mountains and blue
Puget
sky.
Sound, is that the...
Yeah, the Puget Sound area. I mean, it doesn't rain all the time. If anything, it's just cloudy.
It's like Irish weather, I think, isn't it? Like,
It is.
Yeah,
Kind of
so I'm
foggy,
used to
kind
that
of
shit.
cloudy, gray.
What's the friendliest place you guys ever were?
Ooh. Friendliest.
Probably, I mean, the more touristy places in Canada are super friendly.
That's good.
Jasper and Banff. They're two separate places, but
Banff?
they're Banff, Banff.
Oh.
Banff, like not like badass motherfucker.
Badass
It's close to it though, but it's really touristy, so there's a bunch
But
of
so are they
people
just doing that for show because everyone thinks Canada is like a really friendly
Maybe.
place, and then the further out you go, the
No,
more
that'd be a
crazy.
hard
But
act
it
to keep
really
up.
is-
Probably
it
just-
really
it's
is a
nice
cool
that they-
place.
Well, North Korea keeps it up.
Really though, no one's
Well-
really that friendly there.
No, this
Well,
isn't anything like North
Dennis
Korea.
You just compare fucking North Korea to Banff, Canada?
Yeah.
Well, Dennis Rodman fell for it. If he fell for it, everyone.
He's Dennis Rodman.
That's true.
No, it's nice though. There's just tons of wildlife. Like it's a place where like elk and bighorn sheep and whatnot like would just walk
Cool.
across the
I
street.
love bighorn sheep.
Yeah, and like you can see bears too if you're lucky.
You do. You
and
like
can
big
feed 'em.
horns, don't you?
Like it's cool.
Nice, dude.
What about you guys?
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah, the
Why?
Midwest.
Why?
I said what?
Everybody in the Midwest, you can ask if Stanford's here to tell you this, because he has family in the Midwest too. Everyone there is super friendly.
Yeah.
Like here, but on crack. It's ridiculous.
I have to say Philadelphia so far. I've been to Burbank, California. I've been to LA.
That's your
San
problem.
Francisco.
You've been to California. That's why
Been to
no one's fucking
Florida.
friendly.
Philly's like Ireland in the sense where people are really, really friendly when you start talking to them, but no one goes out of their way to talk to you.
The Midwest people be like, hey, people
Yeah,
like
people
get
come up to you, it's
yeah,
weird.
Yeah. People come up to you, try to get to know you.
Huh.
Because it's like here, there's a lot of people.
It's a little intimidating when you think about it.
No,
it's not. It's lovely.
It's really.
I love that shit.
You never feel like, oh, get the fuck away from me, you weirdo.
Yeah.
It's always like, hey, how you doing?
I never had a friendliest place that I've been to. I think everyone's kind of similar everywhere.
Go to Iowa.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're not pricks. I just.
They're not pricks.
Yeah.
Well, how about like the opposite then? The meanest.
California.
I haven't been to California. The meanest place I've been to.
They're not even dicks, or just not. They're not people.
The meanest place I ever was fucking Rome.
Really?
Yeah, you said Europe was a shithole.
I didn't say Europe was a shithole.
Like, you said France was a shithole. Italy was a shithole.
No, I said the places I went were shitholes. So
I guess there's a tourist
I went to
spots,
Paris.
You know, it probably
it was
is.
not nice.
You know,
What?
it probably was.
I liked Paris.
Really?
I think it's because the people who live there are like, fucking tourists.
Yeah, no, I don't blame them.
Motherfuckers, you know.
You can't blame that.
I
But
feel like if you go to a touristy place like that, where like tracks.
they're also full of like fucking thieves and it's like
Paris,
smoggy.
yeah, you're gonna get pickpocketed.
Fucking-
We also went to. God, we were. I think it was New York. If you go to Times Square, there's a lot of people like.
Yeah, that was.
There was a black dude who was like, "Hey man, check out my album." I was like, "Oh," he gave me his album. I was like, "Sweet man." He's like, "Yeah, can you give me some donations?" I was like, "No," and he grabbed it back. He was trying to trick me to buy it.
Dude,
What an
No,
asshole.
he didn't even grab it back. He was like, "Give me money." It's like, no, and he's like, "Give me money," and he was trying to like make you keep it, but give him
No,
money.
he gave it. No, he pulled it back from me.
Did he? He didn't do
took
that
it
with
back
me.
from
Dude, I was like, I went to the Rocky Steps where the like Rocky, you know,
I
where
was
everyone's
there
up.
recently.
Yeah, and I went there with a friend, and like this guy came up to us like, "Oh, you're a lovely couple." We weren't even a couple, so that was awkward. And he's like, "Here, I'll take a picture of you with the Rocky statue." And then we went to the Rocky statue, and he took a picture, and I was like, "What? I don't even care." And she was from Philly, so
Yeah.
she was like, "Yeah, I like live here, but whatever." And then like he was like, "Here, no, come on, give me a tip. Come on, I'm homeless. Give me a tip." Like he just expected. He wasn't even giving me eye contact. He was like, "Here, yeah, tip now. Give me money." I was like, "I didn't even want this picture, you dick."
You get those fucking vultures around touristy spots. And
Yeah.
people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm in Philadelphia. There's the Rocky Steps."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like you
And then, like everyone that was jogging up those Rocky Steps, I was like, "You motherfucker."
It's just like the people. You ever see those pictures of like 100 people next to the Eiffel Tower? They're all, but they're not like.
Oh, the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not the Eiffel Tower.
I love that, but there's also one with the Mona Lisa. There's a
Oh,
picture
yeah,
like that
it's-
where it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like it's a tiny little picture, like the actual Mona Lisa, and there's just
it's
like
very
a ton of
small.
tourists like with
People-
their phones,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
you stand back. And then there's an amazing, brilliant masterpiece behind the Mona Lisa that's much better paint like than the Mona Lisa, and no one looks at it.
The Mona Lisa's good, but it's.
It's all right.
The Mona Lisa.
What's so great about it? This is a serious question. You guys are artists. What's so great about the Mona Lisa?
Look at
I don't
everything
know.
from the
Lay it
time.
on us,
Look at everything
Sabrina.
from
Lay it
the-
on us. Mona Lisa.
Everyone's amazed by the weirdness
I
of
saw
her
a mean
smile
story,
in the
but
picture.
Mona
It's also
Lisa-
the
Because he fucked up her smile, so like.
It's
people are
also
like,
the fact that from the era game, dude. Look at everything else from that era.
No, it was
it was
great.
like creepy people
Renee-
like screaming and dying.
Renaissance
rats
art was
around them.
amazing, dude.
I'm saying a lot of art from that time. That's why it's impressive, though. It's like it's hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
It's hundreds of years old.
I know, but what Niall's saying is there's other pictures that are better.
Way better.
From the same time?
From the
Yeah.
dude,
I'm
that's,
sure there are, but it's still. I mean, it's also done by a famous artist too. He did a lot of other stuff.
yeah, but like.
It's the guy behind it. If that was a one-off, it wouldn't be
What
famous.
always impresses me are the fucking statues
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they make
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
marble.
Yeah, and it looks like
they're
cloth.
so perfect.
I've always thought about like, man, could you imagine doing that? It had to have happened. Just doing one
Yeah.
of those and fucking up.
Like little
Like
subtle
on the
things.
finger,
just on
having
the
the
finger, just-
having the finger fucking knock
Dude,
off.
Michelangelo's David has like a hand bigger than the other, but no one notices.
Yeah.
And his wiener's tiny.
You give
You
credit.
notice
not
that, huh,
erection, you-
Niall?
What?
You notice his wiener.
Of course it. Well, it's kind of prominent.
You lick your lips too.
No, but I don't know. I think.
Dude,
we're talking about
in,
art.
in the guy's defense, you know, if you were gonna show your penis, you would inflate it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That guy just stands still for like 7 hours, so fuck you.
That's true.
That guy had it was right cool to you, asshole.
Yeah, and he probably like did the
Yeah.
dick last.
Yeah, he was like, oh,
You think
dude,
Michelangelo would have been like, oh, I'll give
keep it chub up for like
What
7 hours.
if?
Yeah.
What if David was being kind of a dick that day, so he made his wiener smaller?
Yeah, fuck you,
Or
man.
what if he
There's
did
artists
what
that
you
do
were
that.
saying about the finger? He chopped off half it. He was like, fuck. And he
Oh
just had
man,
to,
I'm
like,
sorry. I'll
get
just
to
say it was
his
cold. I'll say we can pool afterwards. Before.
There's real talk though. There's some statues out there that like you'll get like veins on the back of the hand. They'll capture
my
that so
God.
perfectly.
Yeah.
You'll see like
But
every
it's the
tendon.
You know what I also realized
that
too,
I
though?
think is amazing.
What the fuck else were they doing? That's what
Yeah,
they
that's
did. They
true.
just sat there and chiseled for because then you would do that and
That was-
die.
that was fun.
What else could you do back then?
Yeah, they didn't have fucking
Get the
DS.
Black Plague.
You
3DS.
can make apple pies.
What's the best museum you guys have been to?
I've
I
only
went to
been to
the
a couple.
I went to the Getty Museum in California.
I went to the Museum of
I
Natural
went to the
History.
Spaghetti Museum.
You went to your
I
girls
went
to
to
the
the
Museum of
Spaghetti
Natural
Factory
History
last
in New York.
night.
Really?
No.
The Spaghetti Museum? What's in the Spaghetti Museum?
What do you think?
I don't know.
Spaghetti.
Oh, serious?
Severed heads. Screaming severed heads.
There's one that I went to by this artist called Ron Muick, who does he does like grotesquely realistic, huge things. Like there's one that it's just a giant baby. It's the size of this room basically, and it's just hyper realistic.
Oh yeah, that thing.
It looks like a real giant baby, and it's like all just like fresh out of the womb, I guess. And just,
you're getting Zach horny over there.
You
crossed your legs.
I did anatomy in med school, so like there was this guy touring around that he had cadavers and he put them in all different positions and stuff. And
Body World.
Yeah, I went to that when he was touring. Yeah.
Can I tell a quick story related to that?
That was disgusting.
There were advertisements all over New York when we went there.
I saw that. Yeah.
No, wait. It's a because we're not talking about it. You know what I'm gonna say?
Wait, what?
The Dunkin' Donuts.
There was
yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts. We went to Dunkin' Donuts and there was like these disgusting like real human like corpse faces on them, and they played behind the counter, pointed to it, and he was like, "This is without skin human."
I remember that.
It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. We're like,
it was just you were staring at a prototypical Dunkin' Donuts worker, and we
that's a quote to be.
Yeah, can I have a coffee, one turgo, and then he just points, and we looked at it, we're like, what is that? And he goes, that is without skin human.
I like to frame that and say like Dunkin' Donuts guy. 2015.
Yeah, just take a picture of him and just like
make it a black and white photo. Dunkin' Donuts guy on the skinless human. Thanks guy.
That is without skin human.
I didn't know you what that was before you pointed out Dunkin' Donuts employee.
Wasn't that in like every Dunkin' Donuts we went to?
It was everywhere.
It was all over New York.
That is so off-putting for a fucking food restaurant. Like,
yeah,
food and
why
coffee.
would they put that
like
there?
It's like a guy like screaming till his mouth is open.
Like I was going,
muscle tissues.
I was going to get like a fucking like chopped up meat fucking burger.
I was going to get a raw piece of chicken with like really stringy. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Did you say you actually went to the exhibit though, or like the?
No,
I did.
Okay, go.
I've always wanted to do it.
Didn't you bring us to the Rudder Museum or whatever? Remember you?
Oh yeah, the Mutter Museum.
What was it called again?
Where is it?
Mutter. Yeah, that
Mutter?
was. Yeah.
Where's it located?
In Philly.
It was downtown in Philly. Yeah, it was like all the. It's like Ripley's Believe It or Not with all the oddities and weird.
It's like people with fucking bullet holes in their brains.
Yeah, it's very.
How was it like a big museum? Or?
Nah, it's like a 10-minute thing.
But it's still really cool. Like every single piece is like some weird historic, like almost like obscene. Like for one, do you remember the colon?
No.
That was like the size of a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Sorry.
It was a human colon that they had preserved
somehow. There was like a fucking giant skeleton.
It looked like there were kids stuffed in it or something. Actually, it was just like
that is weird because I went like thrifting the other day in the Philly city. I was going through thrift stores. They're all normal. I was like, yeah, there's bullshit junk I don't want. And then I went into one of them and it was just normal. And then in the back room they had like jars with heads like Futurama in them and shit, and like fucking fetuses that are attached to each other.
Ooh.
What?
I'm like, yeah, and like little pig heads and stuff. I was like,
there was a kid in the Mutter Museum who is like a corpse of a kid whose muscles turned to stone.
Oh, I heard about this disease. It's like when you get a bruise or something, right? Yeah. When you get a bruise, it turns to rock.
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that kid?
Not literal rock.
Did you hear about that kid who died in the 1920s? I think she was 5, and her dad was so devastated he wanted her to be preserved forever. So she's still preserved, but her eyes still open.
Yes, I've heard about that. Isn't it like South America?
I don't know, but at one point at every day, her eyes open and then close again.
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's creepy.
It's probably some guy taking a stick and fucking
No, I think it's like something to do with like her muscles are still attached.
There's no way her muscles
I've heard a lot of different
fingers.
stories about like corpses being like super preserved or something.
Would you guys ever get frozen cryogenically?
You would, Zach.
No.
Me and Zach talked about this.
Here's the problem. Cryonics, right? People actually get frozen. This is a real thing. But the way they do it is like, basically, you sign up for this thing when you die of like cancer. There's a couple of problems. The biggest problem is first, if you're in a different state, like there's only a couple facilities in the U.S. So if I died here in Pennsylvania, they'd have to come out. I'd be dead for like a day or two before they can actually do it. But what they do is like, if you live in the area, say you live right next to the place. I watched a documentary. This lady died. They pulled her over immediately, iced her body down, started pumping her chest again to keep her blood flowing. Mm-hmm. Started giving her chemicals so she could.
So she doesn't get rigor mortis.
So she doesn't actually start rotting. So her brain doesn't die basically. But it's dead, but it's not dying.
Yeah.
And then they do that. Put her in ice, get her body really low, take her blood out. Then put some kind of basically antifreeze into it, or bloodstream.
Yeah, so that's going to help.
No, because the biggest issue is if you get frozen like a lake or whatever.
Yeah.
The biggest issue, you can swim for a little bit, not frozen, but like if you fall in cold water. But the biggest issue is if you get frozen, ice crystals form in between your cells and they expand.
Oh.
So even if you froze and woke up, you'd be fucking like mush, you'd be liquid.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying the biggest issue is They die and they freeze you, and the freezing process keeps you completely alive. Like it's all, it keeps you preserved completely. You're intact. But the issue is, when they wake you up, you're fucking dead.
You still have a brain tumor.
You're still, or no, even if they can cure that in the future, you're still dead. Mm-hmm. The only way I get frozen is if they could do it when I'm alive. Mm-hmm. If I was like slow my process down.
And it's still when your tissue would be fucked up.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be no. That tissue's not an issue. The issue is that
frozen,
your brain is dead.
Your tissue will be fucked up.
They can. That's not even the big issue. The way they do it.
That's a huge issue.
Here's an example. Some kind of like frogs. They can get frozen for like a year at a time, but they have like a natural antifreeze in their body. They get frozen in ice for like a year, but their insides are still going.
It's like a
so if you can find a way to do that, like keep your the insides going, but slow down on it, I think that'd be the way to do it.
Hibernating?
Exactly, but so basically sleeping rather than fucking dead and then put in ice.
God. Once I saw on the internet that you can get a fly and put it in the freezer for like a few days and then take it back out and just if you touch it, it starts like unfreezing.
When I was a kid, I put a cicada into the freezer for like 4 hours and took it out and it was like, oh god, I killed it. It was like it's sort of flying around. It freaked me out.
Did you ever hear about those people who put flies on strings and put them in freezers to freeze them?
That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Oh, the strings though?
What's the strings?
But they do that. Yeah, that's so.
They'll catch a fly, put it in the freezer, freeze it, then put a little string on it, and when he unthaws, you have a pet fly on a leash.
That's so cruel.
It's funny. Fuck flies.
Like one day though.
I hate flies.
When I was little, I found a fly. I was playing outside, and there was a little fly that only had one wing, so it was just crawling around. And I kept it. I put it in a little jar with like dirt and grass, and it was alive for like a few days, and it died. I was so sad. I cried.
Fucking! Why would you cry over a fly?
Yeah, his name was Buzzy the Buzzer.
Did you guys do that a lot? Did you like capture animals and put them like in jars and stuff in boxes?
Yeah, I used to collect like worms and stuff.
Oh, you were that kid.
I was too, dude. I used to get like frog. I put the frog. I felt a little bit.
I had a gecko.
Did I
tell you ever find them though?
Yeah.
Did I tell the slug operator story?
I think so.
Operator?
What the?
Yeah, he'd find a slug and then his eyes would lock onto the slug and he'd go, "Danger, danger, slug operator," and he'd walk over to the slug and he'd like slit it open.
What the fuck?
Oh my god! Yeah, he just slit it down the middle and then like all these little baby slugs came out of it once.
He sounds weird.
That was you, wasn't it?
Do you guys kill flies when you see them or no?
Me and Chris had a fly problem in Wexford when we lived in Ireland, and
that was disgusting.
It was bad. It was
disgusting. Tell the story when you came home.
So me and Chris went to my house in Galway. That's like the other side of the country, and Chris went home a day before I did, and then when I came home on the bus, I walked into the house. And Chris was on his computer, just like surrounded by, like absolutely like
fucking wall of flies.
He was like, hey. He was like, hey.
Was that because of the watermelon or no?
No, the watermelon.
Hey, tell that story, Chris.
Did we never? Wait. But why was there so many flies though?
Because you're stinky.
No, that's not why.
Because our ex-roommate left a shit ton of.
That was it. Yeah. Okay.
He left a shit ton of bags in a closet.
Yeah, I went to America. Now I'll stay with my ex-roommate. My ex-roommate was supposed to take out the trash while I was gone, and when I got back, he left. So he left fucking 50 trash bags.
They were just in a closet. That tucked away.
It wasn't my fault. But what was my fault was the watermelon. So I had a little tiny fridge in my apartment. I put a watermelon in it, and I ate a slice. And then I forgot about it. And then 2 weeks later, I opened the fridge, and there was a fucking forest growing inside my fridge, and flies flew out.
He literally threw his fridge away.
I mean,
you guys have some of the most disgusting, like,
look,
with the
I didn't think that would happen.
Flies, maggots,
this is what happened.
Shit.
This is what happened. We fucking got the fridge. We're like, this is a lost cause. So we drove it to the dump. The dump wouldn't take it. So we literally dumped it in a quarry somewhere, and we sealed it.
God. Sealed it.
Some little boy found that ate the watermelon.
He opened it. He turned it to flyboard.
Some say he still flies around Ireland to this day.
So, something I wanted to talk about a little bit earlier. We talked about
Can she finish her crocodile tangent?
Oh, that was it. It was just I remember chocolate crocodiles. That's all.
You guys remember candy cigarettes?
10 out of 10, Sabrina.
Did you guys remember candy cigarettes where they were called candy cigarettes?
Yeah.
Well, I used to be like, yeah, no big deal. I used to blow the dust.
I can one up you there because when I was younger, I was like a little bit older than the kids in my estate. And I tried to be cool, and I remember seeing like cigarette butts on the ground. And I was like, "Check these out, guys! Pick it up!" And tried to light it, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was like lighting it before it was in my mouth. I was like,
I did that too. My friend Jason and I, we used to go to my dad because my dad smoked cigarettes. We used to go to my dad's fireplace and like pull disgusting cigarette butts out of the fireplace and smoke them for like 40 seconds.
No, gross.
My friend Jason, I don't know if I ever told the story. Did I ever tell the story?
No.
My first cigarette I ever had, I was like 14 years old. My friend Jason came over and he's like, "Dude, let's go smoke a cigarette." I was like, "All right." We went to the woods. And he had one. There was just one cigarette. I don't know where he got it from. He pulled it. We were like coughing. I don't know why I did it. We were coughing, like wheezing and shit. And then we came back to my house, and immediately my mom was like, "Why do you smoke cigarettes?" It was like a fucking TV show. And I was like, "Oh." A guy blew cigarette smoke on the way back, and she didn't fucking believe me.
Did your heart like sink?
Yeah, it was like, yeah. I didn't smoke I panicked. I was like, I didn't smoke a cigarette.
How old are you?
I was like 14 probably.
Yeah, same for me when I got caught.
I was an idiot. What's your cigarette story?
For me, it was even stupider. We just found a pack of cigarettes sitting on a couch in a future shop, and we're like, ha 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 ha. And we went. It was my friend Melissa and I. I went back to my house. She took half the pack. I took the other half. And I was like, I'm going to try smoking. There wasn't even anybody around, so I don't know who I was trying to impress. I was just like, I'm going to try smoking. So idiot me, here, my room is in the basement, and then there's a little vent that just goes like right
to the
in the middle.
House.
Basically, yeah. So the one place that my dad sits all day long, every day, happens to be right above this vent that's also attached to my room. And it took him like 0.5 seconds after I lit this cigarette. And I have this teeny tiny little football-sized basement window that I cracked open, and
like Caesar the monkey.
I thought she was gonna say I have a teeny tiny little football head. I was like, what?
I have a little football head like Arnold, but no. So
sorry, go on.
So I light the cigarette and I'm trying to smoke it out the window all sneaky because I'm thinking all the smoke is going out the window, but it's going up the vent, which is directly above my head. And as soon as I light that cigarette, my dad, I just hear thump 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 thump, and like my door's locked and everything, right? So I can hear him trying to open it, and like I put out the cigarette, throw it out the window, and all the rest of them too. And he's like, open the door, and I open it after a couple seconds of scrabbling and throwing away the cigarettes, and like.
Did he know?
He knew
straight away.
Yeah.
Did you get grounded?
No, there was like this big intervention conversation.
Oh,
that,
Jesus.
My mom sat me down, my dad was talking to me, and they're like, listen.
Awkward.
Were you crying?
No. They were like, you know what? We respect your decision. If you just be honest with us. If this is something you want to do. It was like I was coming out to them or something. And they were just talking to me.
I just found this packet and I thought it was cool.
Yeah. And they were like, where did you get this from? Who gave this to you? And I lied about it because I didn't want to.
To throw it.
When I was younger, my friend Jordan and I, we went down to Pike Place Market in Seattle. There's a magic shop there, and we were looking at these packets of like love potions or whatever. And at some point, I think I accidentally grabbed one and put it in my purse or something. Accidentally, I promise you.
You wanted to woo all those boys with that love potion thrown on them.
I wanted all the men when I was 12.
Let me, Scott, you bitch! And they ran away. That was the end of it.
So we left the magic shop. On the bus ride home, I noticed it's in my purse. I'm like, oh fuck. And I was like, should we go back and return it? It was only like 50 cents. I mean, it was like a little powder mixture.
It was seriously probably Kool-Aid or something.
Oh my god.
Honestly,
I have a story about this.
And so we went back to my house, and as soon as I got into the door, my dad was standing there, and he was like, I know what you did. And I was like, what the fuck? Well, I didn't say that. But I was so scared. My heart sank. I was so scared. But he was talking about something else. I didn't clean the bathroom before I left to the Pike Place Market. Yeah. But I swear, I thought he was talking about that love potion.
What happened with the love potion? Did it work? Oh, go on.
My friend Jordan and I, we split it. In a cup, it was like mix it with hot water.
What if you just fell in love with each other?
They did. They're married. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's all based on lies.
No, it just tasted like, I don't know, like Kool-Aid.
Wait, you drank it?
Yeah, we drank it. We're like,
yeah, because I have a story about a spray.
We thought it was all in our heads. Like we felt like it's all psychological. Like we're like, oh, do you feel nice and tingly? It's like, oh yeah,
that's
I
like when you're a kid, so you have like non-alcoholic alcohol. You're like, I'm so drunk. It's like that weird placebo thing, and it's like there's no alcohol. Retard. You're like, yeah, I was just fooling. I was goofing anyways.
I was in this pub called Lonergan's in Galway when I was a kid, and I was with my dad, and I went into the bathroom, and they had like those machines where you get condoms and shit. Yeah. They had one where it was like not a love potion, but it was like pheromones or some shit. It was like something weird. It was like to make girls like you. And I was like
a cologne thing?
Yeah, and I was like this little fat kid, and I had a crush on a girl in school, so I was like, man.
No. You're like, yeah, I could use that.
I was like, dude, this is gonna work. I was like, I'm getting laid, son. My little 13-year-old.
So let me get this straight. You had a thing next to a thing of condoms, and you were like, yeah.
But I didn't have money at the time.
I'm going for the love.
So I didn't have money at the time. So the next day, I even though I wasn't that far from my house, I packed my bag. I was like, Dad, I'm going to my friend's house, and I was like, this was this huge big like scheme. I was like, haha, and I like went all the way to Lonigan's, and I put in my like €2 coin or whatever, got it, and went to school the next day because I was on a Sunday, and I was on school. I sprayed it, and I was like, kind of weird, but whatever. So I put on like Axe to like.
See, you canceled it out anyways.
Yeah, I know, I was stupid. But the Axe ad had all women coming after you anyway, so I was like, dude, like I am actually literally going to be a pussy.
Oh, you thought you just added to it? You thought it was an addition?
I thought I was.
I thought you were gonna be swimming in pussy.
I thought like if there was an airplane going by, like women would just fall out of it and just like attach to me.
Their titties right into your face.
Yeah, there's like everywhere I go. But yeah, then I like sat beside this girl in maths class, the same girl, and I was like put my neck up kind of near her. I was like, yeah. And she's like, you smell weird. Well, there goes that. Dreams are fucking crushed.
Did you really take that ad seriously?
Yeah.
Like, literally?
No, I didn't.
You were a little too old for that.
Yeah, 13. You would think. Yeah.
The last time I took an ad literally was when I was like 6.
No, I didn't. I didn't actually take the Lynx ad or the Axe ad. It's called Lynx in Ireland. Seriously. But.
So you were very disappointed.
I was very disappointed. Yeah, she ended up being a huge colossal.
I like how your first thought when you saw it was that like, wow, the cure to make anyone fuck you, it's only $2.
Yeah, I was like, why do people know this? Like, needless to say, it didn't work.
How old were you?
13.
Yeah. It's a bad time to fall in love or try to look for love.
No,
it's like the awkward stage in life.
I was trying to get laid, dude.
Trying to get some pussy.
Trying to get 13? Some like little gash.
Things are horrible until you die.
Mm-hmm.
Things never get
good.
No,
things are literally horrible until like you're in your 20s, and then they're
we're all gonna die alone.
Yeah, especially you.
You guys are so positive.
I don't agree with that.
What?
I think there's like a fucking what do you call those scales?
Scales.
Yeah, you know those things that do that.
Graph.
Whatever. Anyway, when you're in school, life is bad, but also shit because you're in school, which is bad, but life is good because you're getting everything handed to you by your parents. But then you get out, but then you have to fend for yourself, and it's still just as shitty.
No, it's not as shitty. It's not as shitty.
Sometimes
independence for me is way more worth it than having to live with parents.
That's true. Being an adult is way better, dude.
Yeah.
I can eat ice cream for breakfast.
However, you guys
never just think back and be like, do you remember the lack of responsibility?
No, dude.
The lack of
me. Absolutely not.
Totally.
I wake up whenever I want to. I get to fucking. Do we draw as a living?
No, the only reason for that was because you were in school, which was shitty.
When I worked in a supermarket, I legitimately wanted to kill myself. So it's all about perspective.
Yeah, when I worked at fast food too, I was like, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I worked at a bakery and coffee shop in downtown Seattle for about 2 years. I had to wake up like at 4 o'clock in the morning because my shift was from 5 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Ugh. So my dad had to that was before I had my license, so he'd have to drive me down there. Oh. I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
It's waking up so early. I had to go to bed at 8 o'clock at night.
I was thinking of creative ways to kill myself.
Why do you have to be creative? You're going to be dead at the end of it.
Because I was bored.
It's fucking easy to kill yourself now. You just didn't try hard enough.
Creative ways.
No, you did apply yourself, Niall. That's why you wanted to kill yourself, because you were slacking on trying to kill yourself. All right?
I was thinking, the belt that you put groceries on. Mm. I was like, if I tie something to that, tie it around my neck, and just turn it on, and just slowly decapitate myself. It's a little slow. Yeah, there's stuff like that.
The motor would be strong enough.
You probably see that's too much time because you start regretting it as it slowly gets sucked through.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I left a pan on the oven, and there was nothing in it. I just left it. And it was on the oven was on high or the burner.
Yeah.
And I remember the stove top. And then I remember I came out of the bedroom. And I was home alone at the time. The whole house was just smoky, black smoke, and it smelled awful.
Oh God!
I grabbed it and I threw it in the sink.
Oh, turn the sink on and watch it fucking explode in smoke. Yeah.
I was so close to starting a huge fire, and I was only 9 years old.
Did you ever leave the sink on and let it flood somehow?
No.
When I was a kid, I had those little inflatable things that we put the pills in, and they inflate this stuff like a giraffe.
Oh yeah.
I had an alphabet one, and I was 6. I put it in the sink and left it on for 4 hours. I got yelled at.
I have a story about flushing corn down the toilet.
Oh wait! Is this digestive?
You're gonna have to tell that one.
So
is it already through your digestive system?
Corn on the cob.
Wow.
Whoa! You got a full one that came out in the turd?
No, I was eating dinner. I was about 5 years old, And I was really self-conscious about finishing my food. I don't know why.
In what way? You mean like you didn't want to finish it all? You felt...
I felt bad. Like, I always felt like I had to finish my food. My parents
you
never...
felt obligated to finish it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we had corn on the cob for dinner one night, and I couldn't finish it. And I was really nervous. I'm like 4 or 5 years old. So I grab the cob, and I sneak away into the bathroom. And I tried flushing it down the toilet. Where did you put the corn in the cob? Just sneak it away? Did you put it in your shirt or something?
Yeah,
like down my shirt. I hid it behind my back, walked away from the dinner table, and be like, oh, excuse me. So I went to the bathroom, tried flushing it down the toilet. Of course, I get stuck.
Your parents totally noticed you had a big fucking corn of the cob. Like, at the time,
like, she takes mega turds.
They also noticed your fucking... They didn't think you ate the whole piece either. They noticed it was gone, but in your mind, you were like, yeah, I'm fucking sneaky. They saw it on your shirt.
When I was 2, my sister...
Wait, I'm not done. Wait. So my dad, he had to fucking take the toilet out of the bathroom.
Oh, shit.
And he had to fix it. He had to unclog it in front of the lawn, in front of the house. And all our neighbors watched. And my dad was so mad at me. He still calls me Corn Flesher to this day. That's his nickname for me.
Wait, he's mad at you?
Yeah. And we were like, when we go out just in grocery shopping together, he's like, "Can you grab that Corn Flesher?" And I will never live it down.
Oh, that sounds really...
so embarrassed.
That sounds like a really mean name, just from the way it sounds.
Just because also...
You fucking corn flusher.
By the way, it's because if somebody else doesn't know that story, they just think you shit a lot of corn or something. They think you have really girthy shits or something.
Yeah.
Or really corny shits.
When I was 2, my sister was born, and she was like sitting in the... Whatever babies do, I don't know. My mom was like... I remember she was like cleaning a bathroom, and I was like, "Hey, Mom, I fed the baby." And my mom was like, "Oh, that's nice, dear." And then she's like, "What?" And then she went in, and apparently, like, I shoved like tons of Rice Krispies down her throat. And like the baby, my sister was like sitting on the like floor with Rice Krispies on her cheeks, and she was like, "Oh."
My mom was like,
"Ah!" Can I just tell a funny story to Nalday when I was visiting him in Galway?
I got one after you. Go ahead.
It was the funniest thing ever for the wrong reasons. But Niall's sister is like really, really nice and really polite and really quiet. Yeah. And when she was walking through the hall going, "Mom, Mom," and then Niall ran up to her and started getting up in her face going, "Nobody cares! Nobody cares!"
Oh yeah, no, I just do that sometimes.
You're such a dick. Yeah, she's really nice.
Yeah,
how old is she?
She's like old enough to like not be treated like that.
I used to like get 2 pillows from the couch and just sing Jingle Bells and bash it on her head. She'd go like, "Jingle bells, jingle bells." She's like,
she's so quiet. She's just shell shocked.
She's like the girl from Game of Thrones, the one who's like
Sansa.
Yeah, Sansa. She's really polite.
Oh my god.
Nobody cares. Fucking mean now.
I know. I'm sorry.
What is your story?
This is actually like a really, really dark story. But when I was really little, maybe 2, 3, not old enough to do water rescue, obviously. My younger sister Mel is 2 years younger than me, and I guess my mom was bathing us in the tub one day, and she just like left Mel in her little like tub baby seat thing, and I was in there too. And my mom walks away and leaves us in the bathroom alone.
Oh no!
For
a very, very short time, right? And so
to grab something, I'm sure, just really quick.
Yeah. And so I guess what happened with Melanie, she like her leg like slipped under the little like baby chair thing where it holds the 2 legs, so they sit up kind of thing. So one leg got into where the other leg's supposed to be, and she went right under, and it basically like. The way that it went is like the leg thing went over her stomach or whatever, so she was like underwater. And I'm like a baby too, right? So I don't know what's going on. She started turning blue and like,
Shit. Put a baby in water.
It was just long enough that like it was super serious. Like my mom runs back in and I'm like, after I start saying like, "Mom, like something's wrong with Melanie."
She's supposed to be blue and screaming.
No, yeah, and so Mom comes back in and like they had to do like CPR and all this stuff, and
wow, so your sister almost died.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad she didn't. Like, frick.
Oh lordy.
So that happened.
I have one final story before we get to these Patreon questions.
Oh yeah.
It's related to the water. It's like nobody drowned, but when my brother was like 2, we went to the pool. It was like his first pool trip. And he saw a big fat lady and he pointed and said, "Fat! Fat! Fat!" And he got in trouble. He got yelled at. That's a true story.
That's a great story, Zach.
It's a real story.
That's a 10 out of 10.
Oh my god.
You're the lady, Sneaky. That was you.
Oh. Fuck off!
Now to the Patreon questions. Chris, you want to read the first one?
From Mobile Spider.
Yes, that is right.
Do you guys have any warm-up tips before you draw?
Go, Chris.
I draw a square.
Next.
Next one.
Wait, is that it?
Is it just one person answering each?
No one else
are we
can
all
answer
going
that?
around? Like, how are we?
Oh, I thought we were all gonna answer it.
We're all
though.
gonna answer that for real. I'm not gonna goof like Chris over here.
Look, okay, my warm up is
Square.
I will draw. I don't fucking know.
No, he doesn't.
No, I will draw for 30 minutes, and that's my warm up. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw.
I do warm-up sketches. I just try
I
to.
do a lot of gestures.
Oh, no one's
a lot
fucking
of
talking.
loose
You
gestures.
It's fucking talking. You. Nice.
Sabrina, these fucking two assholes, they don't even know what they're talking about. They got their dicks in their hands, right?
You're the one with the titty on your chest.
Whoa.
Hey, nice titties.
Are you jealous of that?
Oh!
That was kind of.
Oh!
Sorry now.
When I do streams,
Hey, shut up! I haven't answered yet.
No one cares, Zach.
I haven't answered.
Okay,
Shut your fucking mouth. Like what he said, I do sketches. I would do sketches for like 30 minutes to a whole hour if you want to. But a couple things you can do. Try to do something different every day, or if you want to, try to pick something like hands or like a head or something, or fucking ears. Break it down. A lot of people, I said it before, but a lot of people get fucking overwhelmed because they think you have to get good at anatomy and colors. And it's like, no, pick an ear. If you want to get good at the ear, just spend like 2 days out of the ear or whatever. Just pick something every day to get better at.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and also what's fun to do is take an old drawing like a year ago or 2 years ago and redraw that.
Yeah, Zach does that a lot, and it always comes out
Yeah,
nicely.
it gives you a nice boost of confidence.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just good to see. You see how much your style changes, see how you draw things differently.
Yeah,
you know,
Zach was doing one recently of an Indian guy, but like Zach made like the head shape much more appealing. Like it was kind of. It was a really good drawing like 2 years ago, but he made the head shape so much more like concise and nicer to look at.
Thank you. I think it just comes down to like breaking stuff down differently.
Yeah.
So that drawing, you can also do caricatures. I do caricatures sometimes, or even
That's mainly what I do.
take a cartoon character, fucking Dexter's Lab, whatever show you grew up with, and just draw that in your own style. Yeah, you drew a fucking Dexter's Lab picture.
Oh yeah, we all did that
Did
one
you?
day.
Yeah. So that's my advice.
When I do streams, I ask the people, I'm like, yeah, what'll I draw? Then I use that as a warm up, and then I do commissions on my streams. So like just like I ask people what I draw, and then I'll do. That's my warm up, and then that's all I do. What about you, Sabrina?
Depending on what I draw, because I do a lot of figures and like things related to drawing people. Usually, like in the figure drawing classes I've taken, they start off with really, really quick stuff, and then it gradually increases into a longer sort of thing. So you can kind of, you start off really loose. Like you're probably not gonna like the first ones anyway. So you're not committed to that.
Yeah.
You're just getting warmed up.
Just fuck it out of the way.
Yeah. You do stuff that is short as 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And you could do faces. You could do whole poses, like gesture. Like quick stick bend kind of thing. Just whip it out. For
Another website that's so handy is Pixel Lovely. You know.
I was gonna say Pixel Lovely.
But the 30
Left Castle.
The 30 seconds is way too
the
little for
castle
me.
one's down. I used to
Oh,
use it.
no.
I think it is. I'm not
I
sure.
like that
Don't
No,
quote me
Pixel
on that.
Lovely is great. They have like so many pictures. Except that ginger girl always annoys me.
Same picture.
You know that ginger girl?
I think I've seen that. Yeah, the
I
one.
have
The tits.
Adam Phillips sent me a website that has different anatomical references, and it's a fucking
the 3D
really
one?
good site. It has like what?
The 3D one.
I'll show it. I'll post it on the description.
And
for
art
this
blogs on
podcast.
Tumblr are really
Yeah.
helpful too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, even on DeviantArt, there's a ton of like tutorials.
I'll link all the ones that I have set bookmarked.
Yeah,
because
I'll
they're
give
really
you.
good. The
I'll
ones I
send
use
you
always
those,
help
Zach,
me out. Yeah.
because I've got a couple bookmarked too that I like.
Yeah.
There's some that are good for like animals, faces, whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Just pick something that you're not quite comfortable with.
Yeah,
and
go out of your comfort zone as much as you can.
just set like an hour or 2 hours aside or something like that, and then
Because a
by
lot
the
of
end
people
of
are
it.
like, I can draw really good pigs. It's like, well, draw something besides
Yeah,
it, whatever.
keep
whatever
doing
it
new
is.
stuff.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
do the same thing. You'll get bored and stagnant. And
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah, basically, Sabrina summed it up the best, just gestures and stuff. Also, like another fun technique or another activity, whatever, is like you draw a shape. And then you try to make something out of that shape.
Yeah,
that's always fun.
What's fun about
This
that
is a
one is
fun
if you
game,
can
too.
get somebody else to draw the shape for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get somebody else to just draw a weird fucking shape and then try to draw a face. Or
Yeah,
try to
like
make
at the office the other day, we were drawing shapes, like make that into a sexy lady. And of course they're like horrible looking.
There's the form, yeah.
But it's fun.
On this note, I'm curious. This is wasn't asked by anybody, but I'm curious. What is your guys' favorite thing to draw? What do you prefer to draw when you can? I know it is for both of you. But go ahead.
No, you go first. I'm curious.
You say it.
You say
Let's go back
joke.
this way. Hey, let's go back this way.
Okay, you first.
My favorite thing to draw?
Yeah.
I
say
like ladies. I like drawing curvy ladies. It's fun to draw cute things. Kind of seductive, devious looking.
Ooh.
Monster Girls is a lot of fun. Yeah, ladies basically. I want to get better at drawing fucking guys. That's one weakness of mine.
Yeah.
You go, Sabrina.
Just look in the mirror.
Ditto. I just tried
Look at your big man.
Okay, so you're on thin. You're on fucking thin ice over there, mister. You better fucking watch yourself tonight.
Chris, funny.
Chris, you better sleep with your hands over your throat.
I don't know. I like drawing boobies and butts. I like pinups.
Oh, I'm gonna come.
Oh no. Okay, no. I have a story. I have a story about the pinup thing, but I'll save that for another one, I guess. But yeah, obviously pinups, like figures, female figures.
You're like 60s, you're like 60s diva girl kind of style. Like those,
I love that stuff.
40s. I think that's 40s. That's like, you know,
40s.
Coca-Cola adverts in the 40s.
That's like World War II kind of stuff. But
I actually, my favorite pinup artist ever is Gilles Elfgren or whatever. He's like 60s pinups kind of thing. Like his paintings are like half the stuff that I do are just based
seriously do a calendar of that.
I want to. If I had time.
Sabrina, where do you go for like references? You said what's that website?
Pinterest now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
I think one of my bookmarks is Pinterest. I think it is.
Yeah,
I think
it's actually like Cat Fat recommended it to me, and I started actually looking
Cat
for like.
Fat Newgrounds.
Shout out to him. Yeah,
great animator. Sean, his name's Sean. Just learned that the other night.
Great guy, very handsome.
Yeah, he just
didn't need that last part, but alright.
Well, yeah, it's true. Alright, I'm just putting it all out there.
No, yeah. Pinterest is good for like if you make one specifically for art, you can kind of compile references of things you're interested in. Like for me, it's like pinup girls, like monster girls, like character concepts, skulls, things like that inspire me to draw stuff.
We should all link our stuff we use or have bookmarked. And just all of us we'll make it a big fucking cluster of
cool.
Stuff
that'll help out.
I hate when people follow my Tumblr because I haven't updated it since around the time I got my tablet and all this stuff.
Well, you should start updating it.
Horrendous.
Get on that.
Alright, on my Tumblr.
It helps. Like I know Tumblr's not the best website, but it's still you can get a good amount.
Well, my Tumblr is good. I love Tumblr on my one because I only follow art tutorials. So
the website as a platform and as what it is fine, but it's the community that's bad.
Yeah.
Nothing about Tumblr is like a you know.
I don't see any of that. Where do people go to find all that shit on Tumblr?
Look, it happens when you start following artists and they start getting like they start reblogging shit. Like, oh, this artist is really good to their fucking site.
Is that where it comes from?
There's a lot of really good artists on there who are just maniacs.
I don't follow anybody. All I do.
My guy died today. Finally, it's like, all right, thank you. Go back to drawing whatever the fuck.
I don't follow anybody. Like anatomicalart.tumblr.com is probably the best reference on that.
It somehow bleeds through though. It happened to be.
Like sometimes
I follow people pretty strictly, and I still got some of it in my face. So I was like, alright, fuck this website.
Corey showed me one, and this is really funny and awkward. But Corey follows one called I think Strong and Beautiful or something, or Strong and something. But it's specifically like super ripped chicks that are always like half naked or naked. Ooh. And like he was like, you should follow this, and that was when I was actually studying the pinups really like specifically. And so I followed it too, and I just like left it on my Tumblr feed. So I get back to Edmonton, Tumblr at work, and I'm scrolling through, and then like a whole bunch of these pictures show up in the feed, and I'm like trying to scroll faster, just like holy shit, looking over my shoulder.
Yeah. I follow some not safe for work.
Yeah, I follow voluptuous breasts.
And it's like I was at the when I worked at the office, like I was scrolling down during lunch, there's like this nice throbbing dick right there. I was like, holy shit! Look around, make sure my old boss didn't fucking see it.
Hold on your pants and flick the beat.
That was an empty frame.
I should clarify, it wasn't like a photograph of a throbbing. It was like a drawing of a throbbing.
It wasn't a real throbbing cock.
But the drawings are usually more vulgar because they have like little bits of cum coming down.
Yeah, they are. It's much more like.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. It's getting hot in here.
Oh Jesus.
Now, what's your favorite thing to draw?
I just draw like people. I'm trying to do backgrounds now too, like vibrant, colorful backgrounds. I used to do really like, what's the color palette where it's not very vibrant?
Pastel?
No, you just like no, color wise.
Oh, like monochromatic?
No, really, but like I just use. But then Zach was teaching me about colors being nice, being vibrant. So I'm trying to do that in backgrounds, and they actually do look a lot nicer. Like, yeah, just learning about that shit.
Like limited color palettes?
Yeah, kind of.
Cool.
Just faces.
Yeah. You're really good at just drawing, like improvising that stuff. Like the creases and the wrinkles in the face.
Yeah, no, I think my favorite stuff to draw is like stuff that pulls and tugs on the skin. Like muscle, like a buff guy is fun, but you can only really draw a buff guy because his muscles are always gonna be the same.
Yeah.
But I always like to draw like people who are old because you're drawing a couple pictures. You're drawing a guy who's a regular guy but also older. Then if you make them fatter or give them facial hair, it's like you're adding different stuff to it. Stuff that kind of pulls on the skin in different ways. Yeah. And the thing too is you can draw people at different stages of fatness, people from different stages of oldness. Yeah. You can draw 30-year-old guys who look a bit different from an 80-year-old guy or a 100-year-old guy.
Yeah, you've been doing that thing lately. I was sitting next to Zach's office, and he's drawing on a Cintiq, like he has on one layer it's like a young, like just a regular guy, and then on the other layer it's like what he would look like as an old guy.
That's a really fun thing to do. I recommend that. It's a really fun exercise. Drawing, or you can do it backwards. So you could draw like a 20-year-old guy and be like, okay, I'll draw when he's 40 or 80. Or draw a really, really old guy, or a really fat old guy, or a really skinny old guy, and do backwards. So what did this guy look like when he was 30? It's fun to go with that and just be like, how did the face change? How did the bones grow? How does the nose and ears grow? Cool. How did the eyes sag and so on? How did he lose hair?
That's cool.
It's good to keep drawing activities fun.
Yeah.
Because you can very easily get bored.
Just be loose with it. Just make it organic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just say faces and how skin ages and pulls and tugs and changes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever find like when you do warm-up drawings and like stuff like that where you actually like what you're drawing, that you get caught up in your practice drawing?
You try to finish it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's how I. That's
you spend
how
5
I
hours
make
in practice drawing. You're like, well, but I'll do commissions tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always do that. I'm so bad with that. I'm still doing commissions from like January.
Oh, I know, me too.
What about you, Chris? What do you like drawing?
You like drawing like weird fucking monsters, right? Like
you like to draw all those
like
shitting kiss monsters with
with holes for dicks and stuff.
With
Everyone
our feet are actually
question.
our hair.
Everyone answered my question. I'm done.
Oh, stop crying. Oh, stop. Fuck off.
Need some tissues.
It's true, though.
Demons, dinosaurs, skulls, fucking buff monsters.
Oh, I'm sorry that I asked you.
Big fat titties, big fat asses.
Wait, Chris, I have a
Mountains,
question.
what?
Who's your favorite artist? Like, you showed me someone's work. It was like really dark.
Oh, the fucking Basinski, I think, or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've
You
heard
showed me
of
him too.
I hate that question because I don't like any fucking artist.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad at that too.
Yeah.
I don't know one artist by name.
Like, that's a real typical fucking tryhard answer. I don't know. I like fucking any art that looks
Yeah, it's
cool.
just situational. It's whatever you like.
In episode 22, I said that realistic art is hard to do, but a lot of people can do it. What's really hard to do, what's really, really challenging, is simplifying that into an appealing art style. And a lot of people ask me, like, for what cartoon styles I like, so I should post some. Maybe we can all do that too.
You like kind of basic, nice.
A lot of people think I like John Kay, but John Kay's art is really good to me sometimes, or it's really unappealing.
Which one's John Kay again?
It's Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, cool.
Like the Ren and Stimpy TV show is really appealing to look at, but then John Kay's actual like blog, it's not bad art, but it's not my kind of style. Huh. You know, I think
it's not
Billy
your
Vandy,
refined taste.
Maxwell Adams, Billy Vandy. I think that's a way better art style. I think that's Billy Vandy had one of the best art styles. I like season 2.
Cute. I like Ben 10.
SpongeBob too was a great. But all those shows had like a weird artistic peak though. It was like a weird. Like if you watch the beginning of those shows and the end of them, they're bad. There's a nice middle ground for both of those shows.
Yeah, isn't it usually like season 5 or 4 of season?
SpongeBob had a really good art style in season 2. Season 3 started to get a little bit stale.
Yeah,
a little bit. Not stale, but like more like kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not computerized, but kind of
stiff.
Not even stiff, just kind of more.
Looks too clean now.
Yeah, it was too. Yeah, too.
You used to have this like undersea rusty grit to it.
Yeah, Billy Vandy had that too. By the later seasons, it had like a kind of too clean. So there's the same thing with that. It's like season 2 or 3 of that show.
Yeah, that's because they use the same assets and stuff.
I'll post a lot of different artists.
I watched the new episode of Family Guy last night, and it was the premise of the show was the roast of Peter Griffin, and like it cut to like Meg laughing. And like her shoulders weren't even attached to her body when she was like they were going up and down. I swear to God, they just like came off her body when she was like laughing.
A lot of people think like it's a bandwagon. Oh, it's so easy to hate a Family Guy. But if you look at it from an animation perspective, it's seriously heartbreaking. If you go back and watch season 1, the comedy stuff I can forgive. It's gone up for 13 seasons. Yeah. You're gonna run out of shit. I don't like that. I'll just not watch the show if I don't like it.
Yeah.
But from an animation perspective, it's objectively lazier. It has less frames. They reuse more. It's worse.
It is.
So it's coming from an animation perspective, where you guys are working really hard to do like frame by frame.
I wouldn't even mind it. But the biggest thing was Chris and I used Toonable, which is we finally got the tutorial for how to use that. Mm-hmm. And when I used that, I was like, holy fuck! And Family Guy uses that too. So when we learned how to use it, it became way more obvious how lazy they were. When I thought they just did it like however, I was like, that's lazy. But they use so many fucking, it's drag and drop literally.
The exact same assets. Like Peter Laughing would be the same Peter Laughing.
I didn't know they could do this. For example, if the show cuts to like nighttime and the color palette changes, you press a button. All the colors change. Yeah. You don't have to go frame by frame the color in.
Yeah.
It's all done. It's super canned.
Yeah, all their arm movements are just like dragging and dropping frames, and then their arms will like fill in the in-betweens.
Which wouldn't bother me if the show had lost a budget or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but if you go back and watch season 1 or 2, it had like a whatever smaller budget. The budget's got bigger. Mm-hmm. It's doubled.
Yeah.
And the animation looks worse. That's why it's heartbreaking.
Well,
so I'm not just fucking bandwagoning.
He's making so much money, and this show is getting worse, right?
Yeah. And by the way, it shouldn't look like Disney. I think comedic shows comedy shows would lose their comedic essence if they look too good. Yeah. I think if you animated South Park like Disney, it wouldn't look too funny.
Yeah, well, there was stuff like the Animaniacs that was really charming but amazingly animated.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
But for the type of humor it was charming humor.
You could never animate like The Simpsons like Disney or South Park like Disney. You have to have a specific style for it.
Yeah, yours is very like bouncy and like fast.
It has to be fast.
Yeah, I think it's important when you're trying to convey a humorous like show, animation, whatever. You have to match it with the right style.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's that question answered in the fall already.
Okay. Let's see.
Answer this one.
I'm going to. Don't sesame, Papa. Sesame. Give an answer.
Okay.
Yes.
They're fucking retards over there, dude.
You guys are fucking retards.
Yeah, I'm Nicky, Dad, from Seattle, Dad. I got a stutter. Fuck you.
I'm Zoe Deschanel's retarded cousin.
Whatever, I got a shower.
Look over there, Sabrina. Look, they're touching wieners over there.
Oh, we're funny. We're girls. We're funny girls.
I'm thinking whenever I get a shower, I trip over my titties. I always flip all over them.
I'm Zach. Nice. Boom.
Yo, shut up. Go.
Hey, I didn't even give a shit when she said that. I didn't hear what she said. I didn't hear it.
Because your ears are full of gross wax.
Zach, you're better off not hearing that.
Clean your ears out.
Yeah, you
gross.
The next question from Patreon. Thanks for wasting your money. Comes from Ben Van Camp. If you could bring back anyone from the dead to be on the podcast,